Good morning from Home and Motors. My name's Doug. Today we're going to be taking you through the Keystone Hideout 178RB. We'll basically walk around the outside here, look at different aspects of it all, and then work our way inside the unit. Starting with your roof, you want to inspect that roof about once every 60 days or so. You want to inspect all your seams, any roof penetrations. If you see anything suspect, you want to use a product up there called Dicor. Dicor is a self-leveling caulk. You don't want to use silicone on your roof. You can use silicone anywhere on the sides of the campers and such. Just don't use silicone on your roof. Use the Dicor. Your awning, we refer to your awning as a fair weather or sunshade awning. Basically the switch on the inside just opens it up. I can't open it all the way here because there's a camper sitting here right next to me too close. Open it up until the little balance drops off the end of it here. Then let go of the switch. Now, one of the other things you always want to do too is pitch your awning. You have pitch arms on each side, one down here on this side and one on this side. The pitch arm is there to adjust the pitch of your awning. What you don't want too flat of an awning where water could pond on top, push down on your awning, and possibly pull the fabric loose from the edge of your camper. So the object is to give the water a place to run. And that's what the pitch arm's for. And basically, you use this one here in the front, you just loosen that arm, and then take this arm and push it into it, and then tighten the knob down. What that's going to do is take it, and it's going to drop it down on this end here and allow water to run to the front. You can also run the water to the rear if you want, or you can do both pitch arms and run it straight off the front end of the awning itself. It's also important to remember that before you close your awning up, return your pitch arms back to their normal position, loosen the knob, let the arms come back out. There's 4 reasons when you should put your awning away. One is when the wind's blowing pretty good. That's a judgment call. 2, when it's raining, unless of course you're out here supervising it, and 2, you have it pitched so that the water won't pond on top. 3, when you go to bed at night, of course you can't supervise it. And 4, when you leave your camper for any period of time to go somewhere, again, you can't supervise your awning, so you should probably put it away. You've got an awning light up here on the top that turns on and off from inside the unit itself as well. When you do put the awning away, after you've put the pitch arms back and everything's out of the way, what you want to do is roll this awning back. That roller should be rolling under the fabric coming back to the camper. Not over top of the fabric, but under the fabric. If you roll it over the top, that's considered upside down. So roll it back, tight, snug it up to the camper, and let go of the switch. There's nothing to lock down or do anything further with it. Your hot water heater back here in the corner. Your drain plug is down here on the bottom, right here. It's your high pressure pop off. Your hot water heater is turned on from inside the unit. Looks like this is a gas unit only. It's always important too to make sure that you have water in your system prior to running your hot water heater by going to any hot water faucet and turning it on and getting water to come through it. Doesn't have to be hot, it just has to have water coming through it as a way to prove that the water heater is full, it's primed, and the water pump is pushing it through, or your city water connection is pushing the water through. This right here is your fresh tank fill. You basically stick a hose in here until it's full. It's going to come out a little vent hole here on the side. Then you just take the hose out and put it away until you need it again. If you use your freshwater tank, you got to use your water pump inside, turn it on, and that's what's going to pull the water from your freshwater tank and send to any and all fixtures. This drain right here that's draining, that is your fresh tank drain. That's where you're going to open the drain to let the water out that you have in your camper. Typically you don't take water to the campground or where you're going, and you don't bring it home. You've got a 110 power outlet here on the side. That's going to be GFI protected. If it trips, check the bathroom or somewhere in the kitchen area for a GFI that's possibly tripped. Any kitchen ones, anything that's close to water in the bathroom or anything, are all going to be on that GFI outlet. Your screen you can separate from your main door. You have a bolt lock here as well as your hasp block, and these keys will be key to like. When you go to put these steps up, these steps fold up inside the door frame. You want to take the door and push it open fully so that it's out of the way of the steps trying to come up and go into the frame. They do have adjustable legs on the sides here, so depending upon the terrain that you're putting your steps out on, you want to get them down as low as you can. Ultimately, what you're trying to do is get this piece of steel here as close to this piece of steel here as you can, so that it doesn't interfere with the door's ability to open and close. Up in front of that, you've got your storage bin. Now you do have a stabilizers in the back on each side, and this is your stabilizer wrench right here. And basically your stabilizers are there to stabilize your camper. They're not there to pick your camper up, level your camper, or anything like that. They're there strictly to just take any kind of bounce out of your camper while you're walking around inside of it. You got a starter kit here, in here as well. So basically this one's going to get kind of stabilized with 3 points: the 2 rear stabilizers and your front jack. These doors can be held open by this little guy right here. Now you do have a solar panel jack right here. If you ever want to put solar panel on here, that's where you would plug it into. You have a 20-pound propane tank in here. This propane tank is going to supply all your propane that you need for your refrigerator, your furnace, your stove top, things like that inside. When you do turn this on, really all you need to do is probably a turn and a half to have your tank on. Your battery is a 12-volt deep cycle marine style battery. Anytime you're plugged into shore power like now, or anytime you're plugged into your tow vehicle through your 7-way, you're going to have trickle charge going to your battery. I also recommend anytime you're plugging your 7-way into your tow vehicle, always turn your tow vehicle off before you plug it in and before you unplug it. If you don't, you always have that possibility that you create a surge between the two, and it might pop the fuse underneath your tow vehicle. And if it pops the fuse underneath the tow vehicle, it will not have the ability to trickle charge your battery. You might think it's trickle charging it, but it's not. Your chains, you crisscross your chains. You got an emergency breakaway cable here as well. Anytime you go to put this emergency breakaway cable on, trying to get the tag out of my way here. This particular cable should be connected to your vehicle with, say, a carabiner or something. It should be a clean pull between your camper and your tow vehicle. It shouldn't be wrapped around your chains, interlaced through your chains, or anything like that to keep it off the ground. You want a clean pull between the two. It's always important to make sure that this little pin stays inside of here, because that's what sets your emergency brake. So if that pin gets pulled out because somebody yanked on this cord, it'll set the emergency brakes on your camper, and it'll stay that way until your battery goes dead or something. Once you hook up onto your vehicle, you want to make sure you put a pin through here so that this cannot come up and unconnect from the ball itself. Move around on the side. This is the other side of your storage bin. This is your sewer hose right here. Behind this door here, you're going to find your VIN information and tire pressure information. It's all located behind there. Your AC condenser out is here on the side. This is kind of like a through the wall type AC. This is your refrigerator's propane side of it all. That's your condensate drip tube coming out of your refrigerator. You're going to have air goes in this way and out this way to be able to run your refrigerator on propane if you had an electrical failure. We'll talk about that more when we get inside. This is your fresh air in and exhaust out for your furnace. This is your city water connection. So if the place that you go to has city water available, you don't necessarily have to use your fresh water onboard tank. You can just hook to here. It is also important though that you at least have a water pressure regulator valve on that freshwater hose so that you can control the pressure going into your camper. Some campgrounds, their pressure can be too extreme and they might blow a water line on your camper. Your power cord's a 30 amp power cord, just tucks inside the unit here, and close the lid. Your black and gray tank are located right underneath of here, and your valves are all located there. There's your gray tank up here on the front, your black over here, those red and blue hanging down, those are low point drains for winterization. Got a spare tire for the back. If you ever wanted to put a camera mount, they kind of got a camera mount prep up there. I think that's pretty much it on the outside. We'll go inside the unit now. Once inside, your fire extinguisher is here by the door. This is your lights for your awning light, I believe, and then this is the lights for inside the camper here. Any lights that did not go off when I hit this switch are going to be probably manually operated. This is where you put your awning in and out. Again, like I was saying before, make sure your pitch arms are back where they normally go, and then just hit return on here, and as you can see, the roller is rolling under the fabric coming back. That's the way you want your awning to run. It's just like that, where it runs back to the camper. If you roll it in upside down, all you got to do is go back, roll it all the way out, and continue pushing it and let it go around the curve, so to speak, and then take and bring it in the right way. And that's all there is to your awning. You got storage underneath of this bench seat right here. That one there, I believe, is all screwed down. You can take your pedestals out from underneath your table here, drop your table down onto these guys right here, backfill with the cushions, the back cushions and the seat cushions, and make a bed out of this. Your furnace, to turn it on and off, first of all, your on and off switch is right here. So I click it to there, and then as it goes that way, that's your higher and higher set point. Otherwise, you want it to come back and click, and that totally turns it off. So if I was to run that all the way up, the furnace would come on. If I turned it on and went, oops, I don't want it on, and I flip it all the way back to off, the furnace will still continue to run for an additional 2 minutes. It's what we call a cool down mode. It doesn't know if it was on for 1 second or 1 hour. So it's going to just automatically go into a two minute cool down, and then you'll notice that the furnace goes back off. Down here on this panel, this is your water pump if you're using your onboard water tank. Otherwise, you won't use it if you're using city. This is your water heater to turn it on for gas. These are all your light indicators for everything that you push right here, like your battery. To truly get a true test of your battery, you should be unplugged from electric, because you're picking up power through your converter panel that's inside the breaker panel. So that's your battery tester. Black tank levels to see how your black tank is, your gray tank levels, and your freshwater tank level. So as these tanks get full, you'll get more and more lights on here, and basically lets you know when it's time to empty your black or gray tanks. Going in the bathroom here, this is a GFI protected outlet. I'd say the GFI is probably out there by the kitchen sink area. You got your sink, your medicine cabinet and everything in here. These lights are going to be manual on the ceiling. Here and here, there's just a little push button right there to turn on and off. Your exhaust fan for in the bathroom, crank it up, hit the switch, turn it on. One of the things that's important to always remember is once you are done with it, make sure you put this back down. One of the things you can also do is put a max air vent cover up there above it, which will allow this vent lid to open up inside of it, and you don't have to worry about rain coming in. Whereas if you leave that lid open and it rains, you do have the possibility that rain's going to make its way right into the bathroom. Got more cabinet space underneath. Turn this light off. And you got your shower and everything in here. So this one here is GFI protected as well. More cabinets up above here. You've got a range light here to turn on and off, and then this is your exhaust fan right beside it. If you remember, there's a damper on the outside. Make sure that damper is always open so that the exhaust can actually get out. Got your microwave here. When you go to light this stove top takes a lighter to do so. And you're basically just going to take it and put it to the light position, and you're going to hold it down. When you're holding it down, that's what lets the gas get to it. Hold it down, light it, and then let go of it, and then adjust it to however it is that you want it. Down here, this is your furnace. There's no filter in there to change. The only place that you have filters to change, if they have them here in this, I have to look up here and see. It looks like there might be a small filter behind this rack here that you can be able to change. It's probably a little sponge type filter that you can wash out, pat it dry, and stick it back up here. You got a manual light that you can turn on and off right underneath the sink here. And there's a GFI protected outlet right there. Still looking for the actual GFI. It looks like it might be there. I think it is right there. Can't tell for sure, but I think that might be the actual GFI right there next to the bed, the headboard area. This probably has a GFI on the AC as well, on the plug itself. Now on your refrigerator, to open this up, basically you take and you see, I think you push up on it, yeah, and then pull the door open to get in here. And the controls are right here. This first one is your off and on switch. This switch here, if you push it in, it puts the unit in auto by pushing this button in. If I let it out, it forces it to gas. Typically, most people, 99% of the time, are going to always have this in auto. Auto meaning it runs on electric first, and if you have an electric failure, then the gas will kick in and take over and keep your refrigerator cool on propane. Now, if you get a check light down here on this guy, and I'll show you here, I think when it turns on here, it does it. Yeah, there it was, just a quick blink. A check light coming on means it tried to fire on propane but failed. Let's say, for example, I've got the refrigerator on now, it's in auto, on electric, but I take and unplug it from electric, and by the time I get home, it's check light is on over here, making a noise maybe even or something. It means it tried to light on propane, but because I had the propane valved off on the front of the camper, it didn't make it. Your propane devices, things like refrigerators, furnaces, hot water heaters, they have 3-strike rules. They'll try 3 times to light to do their thing. If they can't, they'll fail, and then they'll give you a light to show you that failure. Now the furnace doesn't do that, it just doesn't start, but that's basically an indication of it. The way you always reset these situations is you turn the device off, turn it back on, that resets the board, and providing you corrected the problem, like say for example, you went and the refrigerator didn't run on propane and it was supposed to, so you go turn the propane on, you come in here, light your stove top, make sure that your line is good and primed, you got gas coming all the way back here, maybe your tank's not empty or something, but correct the problem, verify the problem is good, and then turn it back on and let it run on propane if that's what you're attempting to do. Keep in mind too, when you drive down the road, you're not supposed to run your refrigerator on propane. You're supposed to turn it off, not supposed to have gas appliances running while you drive down the road. Down here underneath the drawers, this is your LP carbon monoxide detector. This can go off for gas leak, LP leak, carbon monoxide, an odorless, tasteless gas that you won't necessarily know it's happening, but if this is going off, there could be a serious issue. Pay attention to that. That is hardwired to your battery up front. Unlike your smoke detector, which runs off of a 9-volt battery up here by the door. You know, when the smoke detector goes off, it's going to start chirping. Well, if this guy starts chirping, and if it's a slow chirp, it could be that your battery is getting really low on your unit. So you could go over here and do a battery test on your wall panel and see maybe if your battery is low. You know, maybe your breaker tripped outside, you don't have no AC power, whatever the situation may be. But just check it, and that might be why it's going off, if your battery has run itself down. It's one of those things that has to stay on all the time because it's a safety device, and you wouldn't want to be coming into this camper if it was full of propane for some reason and turn something on and blow something up. So that's why it kind of does that. That's why it's hardwired to it. Again, looks like your GFI is up in there. You got storage on each side of the cabinet here, and you've also got, you can raise the bed up here, and you've got storage under the bed as well. I think that's just about it in here. Of course, if you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call here at Holman. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you got. Again, my name is Doug, and other than that, you have a great day, and thank you.